Jumbo, fellow adventurers, excuse the slight delay this morning. I was out and about in town and keys got locked in the car. That I'm here 5 minutes late is a miracle, but we're never alone, are we? So welcome to another spiritual tune-up. Yesterday's was quite popular and some great questions came from it. So we're going to do 2.0, dealing with chronic pain and illness. The question came in yesterday that I thought was very relevant at multiple layers with regard to understanding how we create and what the ramifications are. So verbatim, if we create everything in our lives, Mike, does this mean cures for chronic diseases are unnecessary since they are manifested by us? If we manifested the disease, what's the point in going to the doctor for a cure? Does someone, for example, who smokes and gets lung cancer manifest cancer through their thoughts or from smoking the toxins? How about allergies, arthritis, the flu? It's all the same. So I'm going to pick you up to speed from where we left off yesterday with a cautionary bit of advice. When it comes to matters of health or sanity or a roof over your head, always play both ends to the middle. You know that old expression, right? Do a little bit of the old school. Never stop seeing your doctor. Always wear your car safety belt. Buy health insurance. These are negative acts of faith. But we don't know what our 60,000 thoughts are a day. And while we can generally be confident that we're mostly positive, we want to kind of ward off every eventuality. So, play both ends to the middle. Do the woo-woo, creative visualization, self-reflection, going within, praying to the divine, and do the practical. Don't forego one in the name of the other, and that is certainly true with health and chronic illness and disease. So now to answer the question, everything is a function of your mind and your imagination. Everything. But we have bought the ticket into this continuum with a lot of momentum, and we've bought the beliefs of our parents and guardians, whether they were well-meaning or not. The society we now live in tells us that we're old and we're frail and we're vulnerable. And if we believe that, that's the danger. And so while you ought to play both ends to the middle and not inhale carcinogens, it is ultimately your beliefs, not the carcinogens, that will give you cancer or other problems. The beliefs that this is bad for me. Again, I am not promoting smoking. My advice is quit smoking. My advice is to wear your seatbelt. My advice is to do all logical, common sense things because life is so awesome. Let's maximize our chances for enjoying it. But let's not also abdicate our power by thinking, that we're vulnerable, that we are subject to statistics, and that, 1 out of every 5,000 days in a car, you're going to get hit. And it's like, it's you. So I've got some more tips on how to deal with chronic pain and the like, but I still want to create this foundation to place these tips on so that there are legs under the table. Final thought on the ground rules here. If you have anger or self-loathing, or, as I said yesterday, a muddle of thoughts and desires that brings about chaotic health or pain or cancer, if you get a conventional medical remedy, but you do not fix the underlying anger or angst or confusion, you guessed it, something else will pop up, whether it'll be a reemergence of the cancer or some other side effect of misunderstanding. Everything boils down to a misunderstanding. Anything unpleasant and painful boils down to a misunderstanding. But there's a silver lining here, and that's what I'm working my way towards. So what to do if you are in chronic pain or temporary pain? Okay, this applies to everybody, whether it's a flu or COVID or arthritis. This applies to everybody. Contrary to the message I've been giving now and throughout these 100 plus spiritual tune-ups, where you are a creator of everything, that creates an image or a sense of if something shows up I don't like, I'm bad. No, you're not bad. You're not broken. Here's something that blew my mind 30 years ago when I was in Boston, and I was having some kind of internal digestive problems. There was just too much pressure in my life working for Price Waterhouse back then. Awesome firm, but I didn't handle it well. And I was speaking to a very profound medium psychic channel. And I said, I'm sick. My body's sick. And they're like, your body is so healthy. And I'm like, you didn't understand me. I'm sick. I have these conditions. And they said, a healthy body faced with confusion here will produce ailments and symptoms and problematic digestion, etc., as a part of its healing. And I was like, oh, the coin dropped, and I was like flipped out. It was like, they're like, your body's perfectly healthy. It's not your body, it's here, and your body is reacting in a healthy way to here. Just like coronavirus right now in the world. We have been sick as a global civilization society, and we haven't known it. And the way we find out about it, red flag on the play, hey, red alert, is the sickness here where we overlook and disregard priorities and love and people, all in pursuit of money and just to such a degree, such an extreme, that other areas of our life and huge swaths of our population were in misery while others were making, $1 million a year paychecks. This is a sickness in the society. The consciousness is healthy, and a healthy consciousness will say, red flag on the play. We got a pandemic that's going to wake your butt up. We got an earthquake on the horizon. Let's do some volcanoes, a tidal wave, until you guys smell the coffee. This is not retribution. This is not punishment. This does not mean we were bad. It means there were oversights creating a muddle in our priorities, creating confusion in the world that manifests as a virus, as a plague. Literally, we have brought a plague upon ourselves, and we do this personally. Do not look at yourself as bad. Do not look at your body as broken. This chronic pain, ailment, cancer, it is the first sign of a great healing, and you can do this. The second thing I wanted to share with you on the heels of that is to recognize that this manifestation, however awkward, unpleasant, and painful, is a gift. Look at the alternative. To continue living your life naive and ignorant while, on a global sense, masses in the population suffer and starve to death and drink mud for water, feed their children good God knows what. Would that be a better alternative than a plague? I think not. The plague is going to bring about a healing and an awakening and new priorities, and then we get our groove on. The same thing with your physical body. Would you like to be dumb and naive and ignorant towards how others behave towards you, how you behave towards others? Would you rather not be seeing the full picture? That would be hell. And that is hell, because it'll bring about forever and ever these manifestations that are unpleasant until we wake up, connect a few dots, and live a better life, and all of the sickness, all of the chronic pain will be gone. Okay, so while it's no fun to be poked, it's at least a wake-up call that there's a better way of viewing your circumstances. I gave you some examples yesterday. Are you using the pain as a justification? Are you using the pain as a crutch? Are you using the pain as an excuse? Just hypothetically, it might not be the case for you, but it's serving some kind of objective. It's some kind of manifestation of yours. You can figure it out and be free forever. So you've got a gift going on if you've got these pains, and the awkwardness is temporary. Number 3, out of 4 points I wanted to make. Don't resist. Don't deny. Don't try to separate yourself from the pain. This is who you are today. Pain, arthritis, cancer included. Don't think that by acknowledging it, you're inviting it to stay forever. By acknowledging it, by pulling up a chair and sitting down beside it and saying, what do you got to tell me? What are you here for? I want to hear the down, the dirty, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You tell it to me like an adult, okay? And stop giving me these pains so that I can deal with it and say goodbye forever. And by the way, I love you for showing up, because now I'm going to be better than I ever was, than I ever knew to ask for before. I didn't even know I was missing stuff until you showed up. So I love you, but enough is enough. Don't deny, resist, or separate yourself from this condition. Don't think that's not me. It's you. It's so you. In your radiant magnificence, a healing has begun. Sit down and make friends until you know what the deal is. And then they will be off on their own to gift somebody else their presence. And number 4, never forget that you're not vulnerable. You're not a statistic. You're not being blown about by circumstances. You are a master with dominion over all things, including what's going on in your life right now. Okay? And your default settings are to heal. That's normal. It is abnormal to be ill. It is abnormal to be in pain. It is abnormal to have coronavirus or cancer. That doesn't mean if you get it, there's something wrong with you. It's the beginning of a healing. So these things are abnormal. It's harder to be out of whack than in whack. And which means you got to get into truth, which means you got to do some soul searching, which means you need to do some journaling and ask some big questions. And who am I? And why am I here? And why am I going through this crap? And what am I not seeing that I could be seeing? And how else could I approach so-and-so? And how else could I go about XYZ? When you do what naturally comes to you and ask these questions, you put yourself back in a place of power, and then of comprehension, and then of freedom. Well, this was a long one, 13 minutes, I think, but I had a good time. Those 4 things: you're not bad or broken. Number 2, see the gift, the condition as a gift. Number 3, don't resist, deny, or detach. And number 4, remember your default setting is to recover from this. That's going to be the most normal outcome. That's what you were built to do. Just get out of your own way by embracing the pain or whatever it is and saying, I'm going to learn from you. And then I'm going to go out and help teach other people what I learned. Woo! Thank you so much for letting me do this. Lots of love from Orlando, Florida. I've kept you long enough. Tally ho, amigo.